Hey everyone, I'm Matt. Share a little bit about my background. So I started a real estate photography business around 6 years ago while I was in college actually. And during that time I was studying programming and machine learning, found myself in this niche. And during college I was scaling that up, kind of working on it part-time. And I was able to get it to the point where we exceeded $100,000 a month in revenue. And right now, it's still running, and I spend about an hour a week in that business, and it runs and grows without me. And I say that just to share that the tools that I'm about to tell you guys about do work, and they're all practical. And I think at conferences like these, you're going to get a lot of tips. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and all of it's going to work. Pretty much all of it's going to work, but you got to think about what do you actually have time to implement, and what's going to be the highest leverage thing for you to do? And so I want to challenge you guys to think about that right now. In your business, what is your biggest bottleneck? Or said differently, what is the thing that you could do every single day that actually, if you sat down and did it all day, would make you the most amount of money? Sit and think about that. What is that one big thing? Is it cold calls? Is it brokerage presentations? Is it training a new photographer? What is that one thing that would actually move your business forward? What is that one big thing? Really internalize it, because I want to go through this presentation and I want to help you find a way to either delegate or automate that with AIs so that you can grow your business faster. Now I want to challenge you to picture your day. What does this actually look like? A lot of us get caught up in the day-to-day, in the minutia, and we're doing stuff that we probably should delegate, but we do it ourselves because it's easier and it's faster. So picture your day. What does it actually look like? Everyone here is at a different point in their business. Maybe you're doing 300 shoots, maybe you're doing 30, maybe you're just getting into it. But everyone has been at this point where your schedule looks like this one, or maybe it's about to be. You get up, you're QCing and delivering photos, you're responding to clients, maybe you're training a new photographer, and then you're doing outreach work, right? But whatever this is to you, picture that. Because all of that seems productive, but you're just working in your business and you're not working on it. You're not actually growing it. You're doing things that are not repeatable, because if you stepped out of your business, none of that would continue happening, okay? I have had the opportunity to speak to hundreds of creatives and business owners in the space, probably thousands actually, and the number one vulnerability that I find is that people always say, nobody can do it as well as me. Nobody can shoot as well as me. Nobody can edit as well as me. No one can talk to clients the same way that I talk to clients. And a lot of us get into this because we're good with a camera. That's how I got into it. I love shooting video. I'm like, cool, I can make money shooting video. But people don't generally get into the space with business acumen and then learn the creative process. So we're biased. We're over-perfecting all of our work, and the quality is important. But you have to overcome this idea that nobody can do it as well as you. And the difference that I've found across people that do 10 shoots a month, 100 shoots a month, 1,000 shoots a month is this mindset and where they are on this. And there's just a point in your business where you have to decide, do I want to be an artist, or do I want to be a business owner and grow something that can make $100K a month without me? And either is fine, and I respect and love the work of the artists. It's beautiful, but you have to make a conscious decision about what that is for you and then go that way, or else you're going to be stuck in this in-between. Okay? So let's talk about how you can delegate and automate the monotonous work so that you can focus on your one big thing, the thing that's actually going to move the needle for you. I think the first thing is that if you're just getting started, you should have a virtual assistant that can do quality control and delivery for your photos. It's one of the easiest things to do to get your time back. This could be something else in your business if you're a lot larger of an operation. But there's a great framework for delegating manual work like this that's repeatable. So I used to sit down when I was making SOPs, standard operating procedures for my business, and it would take me weeks to document these things. I'd have to think about what is everything that I do to get this done, right? If you want to delegate something in your business, it has to be in a checklist. It's got to be so stupid simple that anyone without any domain knowledge in real estate photography could do it for you. They need a checklist to follow. The good news is it's never been easier to create these documents than now with AI. So here's the framework for doing that. Next time you go to do something that you don't want to do or you want to hire someone for, go to loom.com, take a video of you doing it, and just talk through what you're doing. Literally, so if this is QC, if this is edit revision requests, if it's booking a shoot in your booking platform, take a video, talk out loud, say what you're doing, and Loom can make a transcript, generate an SOP for you, and give screenshots of everything that you're doing. So now you've no excuse not to make documents and document your processes so that you can train someone else on how to do that. If you don't want to get a Loom subscription, literally just take a video recording, use ChatGPT, put this transcript in there, and generate an SOP. Now, you can get extremely competent overseas talent with virtual assistants, and if they have a good process they can follow, you're going to have superpowers. So screen record, transcribe, and make a checklist so that it's documented and you can delegate it. Now, as you scale up your business or continue growing your business, you're going to hire photographers, editors, scheduling coordinator, sales manager, tons of different people. And coming back to that main vulnerability of creatives is like, yes, nobody can do it as well as you if they don't have the resources to do so. So let's talk about how you can clone yourself so that everyone has the resources, like they have you in your back pocket constantly. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to ChatGPT and you're going to create a new project. So for my business, we have the Luxury Vision AI Assistant. And you're going to attach 4 types of documents into this project. The first one is your SOPs. If you don't have these, you can make them very quickly with Loom or some sort of video recording and transcription. Once you have those, you can put all of those in. Now, anything that's in there, anyone can ask your custom GPT, and it'll tell them exactly what to do without having to search into documents. The next thing is very simple. It's just your packages and your pricing. Photography, what's the price? Videos, what's the price? Do we do agent reels? Now, this is the most important, and I would argue this is the highest leverage thing that everyone in this room can do when they get home, and that's creating a client FAQ. So let me describe what this looks like. Step 1, you got to get every question that has been asked of you or someone in your business ever. Maybe that's extreme, but usually the last 3 months kind of covers that. So specifically, if you use OpenPhone or some sort of shared messaging system, go to OpenPhone, get your text transcripts, or your text messages, your call transcripts, go into your email, or you can have a virtual assistant do this, and just collect every single question that has been asked of you over the last 3 months, get them in a document. So every single question, hypothetically, like every scenario that has come into you. And then take one weekend, dedicate one weekend where you're going to sit down, get highly caffeinated, and you're going to answer every single question. And then you're going to give the action to take, too. So this is the format. You get the question from the client-facing answer. So like literally, if you're on a call or responding to an email, what would you say to the client? And then the action to take. So if it's, hey, I want to book a shoot, what would you literally say to them? And then what would the action to take be? So specific, so granular, that they could go into your scheduling software, know what button to click, and book the shoot. When you're done building this document, it should be so simple, so well done and detailed that hypothetically, if someone had it over the last 3 months and one of those questions came in, they would have been able to answer it without any hand-holding from you. And the beauty of this is that whenever you get new team members and you need to train them, or they have a question on the fly, they can just now refer to your AI project, which can reference this. They can paste in a client question, and they can get the response for the client and the exact action to take to handle it. So now if you're getting disrupted constantly throughout your day with team members asking you questions, customer support things, that's interrupting you, they can just ask the assistant. And also the beautiful part of this is that you don't answer a question twice, because if something comes up that is not in the knowledge base, because there's always these edge cases in different scenarios, you answer it once, you do it really well, it goes into the knowledge base, and this grows over time, and then it'll be there for the future, so you don't answer the same thing twice. And then last is brand voice. So you want to be able to get great overseas talent. There's going to be an English, like a language barrier. They're not going to speak perfect English, but now you can accomplish this with AI. So what you're going to do is your fourth document is going to be your brand voice. Very simply, go into your email. You're going to take like the last 20 messages you've sent, paste them in there, and that's going to be a style guideline. Now, AI can reword anything, any like broken English or any message that someone's trying to convey. They can just put that into the GPT. It can reword it, take the knowledge from your knowledge base, reword it into your tonality, literally from the emails that you've sent in the past. At my business, our VA, who's in Pakistan, sends messages to clients, and it sounds like they're from me when I started the business. So if you have a boutique feel or a super casual feel, you can replicate that and empower everyone to talk exactly in your brand voice. Now, going to the specifics of these documents, how to attach them, the prompt to achieve all of this stuff, if you haven't, go get an AI playbook from our booth. Dives into exactly how to do this stuff. It's actually really simple. You shouldn't be intimidated about it, and it's kind of done for you. So go get an AI playbook, and you can just scan the QR code. It'll walk you through it. So hypothetically, if a shoot comes in, you're busy, you're not available, and someone's trying to book, and the person who's on your team has no idea what to do, they could take that email, paste it into your custom GPT, and it would pull from the knowledge base, and then it would advise your team member, hey, here's what to reply, here's what to do. It could be a very complicated situation, like, hey, the house is only available on Tuesday, but it's going to be raining, what do we do? And it'll give the exact steps based on what you've advised. Then they can reply without having to pull you into it, and then give next steps all the way down to how to book it in your scheduling software. Right? So that saves you a ton of time. How many times are you trying to get something done and your team is interrupting you because they don't have the resources? So document your processes and now aggregate them in one place. This is something that all your team members can use. Now, we can automate our operations, but we can also do client acquisition with AI. So I think a lot of us are trying to grow. There's a lot of methods that you can use to grow your business. Everyone from different markets have different things that work for them. And it's, again, easy to get distracted with all the techniques that you hear here. Oh, should I be cold calling, doing the Instagram method, doing email marketing? What do I do? Just do what's been working for you, getting you clients, and do 10 times more of it. Whatever that is, you can now automate it and just 10x your volume by using AI, okay? So for example, for us, Instagram method was huge for us. When I started, I used to go, I'd reply to every agent, I'd comment on every post. I wanted to be everywhere so they'd go to our page, see our portfolio, see our work. We'd be top of mind, they'd work with us. We wanted to get a virtual assistant to do this for us, and we noticed like the comments just didn't really make sense, the English didn't make sense. But you can use AI tools with a simple prompt, have them screenshot the post, put it into the AI tool, and get back the perfect reply. And now you can do, instead of like you trying to do 10 or 20 in your busy schedule, create a process for your VA to do like 1 to 200 of these every single day. We made a tool. It's also in the playbook. If you want to use ours, it works really well, and it's trained on this kind of thing. You can also use ChatGPT. That's just an example. You can be everywhere. Again, a VA plus AI gives you superpowers. Another thing, I'm sure you guys all use AI right now in your social media reels, trying to come up with creative hooks. And it's very good for that, but we don't just write scripts with AI, we get clients. So something that was really big for us for customer acquisition was a lead magnet, right? So if there was a broker we really wanted to work with, we want to earn their business, they came on Zillow with a new listing, we'd get that listing description, we'd take like 2 hours, write a beautiful script, something we thought would go viral on Instagram, and then we'd send it over, and we would say, hey, we just took a bunch of time to write this. Would you want to shoot this video with us? And, the rule of reciprocity, they'd be like, wow, they're giving this much. I want to work with them. And if this is free, what's it going to be like when we actually pay them and shoot the video? But anyway, we used to do maybe 1 or 2 of these a day. That's all we had the time to do. Now we can use an AI tool and generate scripts that are just as good and do 20 a day. So he's like, that works really well for us. We can just 10x our output by using AI to do it. So we have a tool for this as well. It's in the playbook. You can use ours. You can use a custom GPT. that's trained how you want it trained. We did ours on the most viral scripts in this niche. Put in the property address, put in the description, the listing agent, send them the script. We can do this all day long. Our VA can do this for us. One more thing, just to get you thinking, because this applies to anything, guys, like literally anything. I promise you that there's a tool that can at least make you 2 or 3 times more productive, if not 10x on whatever your thing is for getting clients. So for example, for me, I don't have time to find, train a social media manager the last month, hire editors, vet them. But I did all these podcasts, and so this one with Todd, I threw into AI, and I did this for every single one, and I've been posting on 5 different platforms 3 times a day for the last month. And that took me 30 minutes. I pasted in the podcast links, it transcribed them, it found the most viral potential moments, ranked them by virality, and then I automated the scheduling. And I could have done nothing, or I could do that with AI. It adds captions and our brand style. And so again, the amount of volume you can do is incredible. So just think about, what are these for you? It might be totally different, might be the same, but what are you guys doing? And how could you leverage AI to do more of it? And again, not just for client acquisition, what are the manual repetitive tasks that you do every single day? So something that a lot of us do or should be doing and don't have time to do is request Google reviews so that we have better SEO, better credibility in our market. But it's time consuming, it's hard to remember. You can make an automation. In Zapier, if you use a scheduling software, which most of us do here, you can use webhooks. And basically, any time that something occurs in your booking software, like you get a new client or a shoot is booked, it can trigger a webhook, which goes into a sequence of automations, different apps talking to each other. So for example, something you could do is a shoot is booked, you delay until the shoot date. If it's a new client, you add them to your CRM, and then a day after the shoot, you send your Google review request link and get them or ask them to leave a Google review. So maybe you're doing this already and it was occupying someone's time on your team. They're freed up to go do something else, or maybe you're not doing it at all, now you can actually do it, and it's automated. Another thing, for example, shoot could be booked. If it's an agent reel in the service description, ChatGPT could research the location, suggest 3 different reels, and automatically email it to the broker. So instead of having someone on your team take 30 to 60 minutes to do this, or show up on site and just be freeballing it, you could be prepared and it could be fully automated. And that stuff compounds. That adds up over time. All right. So once you have a knowledge base, there's a lot you can do with it. You can leverage it for writing emails, texts, but you can also use something like OpenPhone or any other phone call app and have it tap into the knowledge base. So for example, this is a AI bot for my business, Luxury Vision, that taps into our knowledge base. So let's call it. And again, I think answering the phone is good. You should answer the phone as much as you can. But if you're going to miss a call, why not just answer it with AI, right? Or if you have an ops manager there offline, better off answering it with AI than missing it. See if we have service in here. Try again. No service. I'll tell you what, if you want a live demo, come by our booth. Incredible. Let's try one more time. I want this to work.
Want me to pick these calls up because I keep getting them?
Oh, great, a router to someone on our team. All right, let's move on. Anyway, imagine a world where you didn't have to do all that in the morning, QC and deliver your shoots, or handle client booking requests. Someone on your team had the resources to do it. Or you didn't have to do client acquisition, and you didn't have to take calls during dinner, and your schedule was cleared out. And the only thing that you had time to do was your high leverage task, the one big thing for your business, right? That could be training a new photographer. Now your calendar is opened up to do that all day. Or maybe it's not training a new photographer. Maybe your team's awesome and your bottleneck is client acquisition. You could have all day to cold call, make some extra money. Or maybe your big thing is brokerage presentations. You could be doing that, right? Focused on the one thing that is actually going to move your business forward. Or maybe you're just trying to chill out at this point. You want to systemize things, be able to have your time back and not grow, and take yourself out of your business so you can go on vacation. The best way to do this is systemize and automate everything. Now let's talk about the best creative tools. Maybe you're crushing it on the business front and you actually want to get an edge on the photo to video stuff, all that in your market. So let's go through the cutting edge model. So for prompt-based image generation, Nano Banana from Gemini, from Google is right now the current best. And what kind of things can you do with that? Just to get you thinking. You can ask humans to do virtual staging. They can do an okay job. Or you can use AI virtual staging companies, but you're not going to get the kind of granularity that you can with a model like this with prompting. So if an agent asks something very specific, instead of waiting all day to get it back, you could do it instantly with this kind of model. I'm showing you what's possible. I'm not talking about any of the legal things around AI image generation, but I'm showing you what you can do. You can get extremely granular generations with this model. You could also generate something that's like a nice display of the lifestyle of a property. You can even generate a photo of a house that's just a concept. This used to be like $2,500 to do. Now you can take a sketch, one-shot prompt, turn it into a real house. And maybe show what that house looks like at sunset and then from an aerial view. And now for photo to video, this is a year where, a lot of people say it's not there yet. It's there. And the best model for that is Veo 3.1. And what you can do is take several frames. So say you just have a sketch, and then you have the house that you generated from the sketch, and then you have it at sunset, and then you have an aerial view. You can also take that and upscale it to 4K resolution. It'll look something like this. Let's roll the clip. So, tool for that. Again, everything, if you have one of those playbooks, it'll show you literally the prompts and the exact tool to do that. That's Higgsfield. You put in multiple frames, use a prompt, and you can get something like that.
I'll go ahead and introduce this one with my voice clone. I made this in a couple minutes, and we do the same thing for our clients to save hours of filming every month.
Yes, we do. So voice clones, this is huge for our industry. For example, if you're trying to make a dramatic property video, you could shoot the property, you could hire a voice actor and get a little extra spice, but it's going to take back and forth iterations, it's going to cost a lot, and you can't get it exactly how you want. Now you can use a tool like 11 Labs where you can clone a voice or have a voice actor, and you can get any style you want. The most talented voice actor is in your pocket, and you can have the transcript, you can manipulate the speed, the tonality, the inflection, and use that for your videos to get an edge. Let's roll this clip. This is one we did in my market.
Huge demand and low supply has created a competitive market and caused Nantucket property prices to soar. Nantucket Real Estate has once again outperformed the S&P 500.
I'm Dalton Fraser from J. Pepper Fraser Company. If you want to own a piece of Nantucket, this is your chance.
Where many are calling the best island in the country, homes are flying off the shelf.
You'll never find a luxury.
And so the idea there was like, was not maybe the best property, but we were trying to create hype around the scarcity, and so a news anchor talking about the investment returns could indicate that message. And our client really loved that and appreciated that. Another thing, for example, I was with this client right here. We're shooting, we wanted to do a cool video, and we're on the beach. All I had was my iPhone, a little iPhone gimbal. No microphone, but this guy is hard to get on camera, so I'm like, all right, let's shoot it. It's very windy. I'll show you what we can do to clean up his voice with AI. Go ahead and roll the clip.
Hey Siri, find me my dream vacation home on Nantucket. Hey Siri, find me my dream vacation home on Nantucket.
iPhone 10, that's like a one-shot audio cleanup on 11 Labs. You can save your, if your mic was off and you have bad camera audio, you can save that. And then another example, you don't need to use just a human.
Hey Siri, find me my dream vacation home on Nantucket.
You can have Siri on demand.
Here's a 6,100 square foot home by Nobody Beach, asking just under $7.5 million. Check it out.
So you can get really creative now, and it's very easy to do. And you get to get as many tries as you want. Another cool thing we did with this client in particular, like I said, he's hard to get on camera, but he hired us on a social media management retainer. And he's like, I'm too busy to film. And so what we did was we sat down with him for 10 minutes, we cloned his voice, and then all we would do is film stock footage of our market, generate a transcript, and use his voice clone to read it aloud, create the audio, and then lay that over the footage. And we'd create reels with him. We grew his account a ton, and we didn't have to film. I think we filmed once like every 6 months. And nobody knew, because the clone it's so good just from 10 minutes. Now I want to wrap this up with something really cool. The last kind of 1 to 2 months, we've been persisting the metadata from the photos that's been coming into our platform, just to see if we could conduct a study, see if there was anything cool, indicative, any correlations between the metadata and the photos, how people shoot, and the number of shoots that they're doing. And so here's lessons from the metadata. So just an interesting thing, on average across, and this is across like 200,000 photo shoots, the average shoot time across the US, across everyone, was 40.6 minutes, and the average time between photos was 1.3 minutes. Just interesting, you can benchmark where you at with your business, how does that compare? It starts to get interesting though. We also know how many shoots per month everyone does, and that kind of correlates to the size of your business. And we notice there's actually a statistically significant correlation between the size of the business and how fast they're shooting, which just goes to show a lot of these bigger businesses are a lot more about efficiency on site and speed. And something interesting we've been seeing is that a lot of big businesses are shooting handheld to go through properties faster. On average, it's 13% faster for big businesses. This was really interesting. You can draw your own conclusions from this, but the number of photos delivered trended up as well for the bigger businesses. If I had to make an observation from the people I talk to, it's that they just spend less time culling or restricting the amount of photos delivered. They make sure no angles are missed, and they over-deliver if needed. But very interesting how there's a positive correlation there. The next thing, we got the camera body in the lens, and our team researched the price of every single combination and then looked at, for every company, what was the total price. It was pretty much random, averaging around like $3,000, $3,300, until you got to the real big players where they're doing 400 or 600 shoots a month. And it fell off a cliff to like $2,000. And it just goes to show, you don't need the best gear to make the most amount of money. You need the most photographers doing the most amount of shoots. And it doesn't matter if it's a $2,000 setup or a $4,000 setup. And here's the data to back it. It comes back to the point of like, am I an artist or am I a business owner? What is my conscious decision? And it's going to go against your intuition in a lot of cases. But you got to figure out how to do the most shoots. That's going to make you the most amount of money. And one last thing, which I was really curious about, because a lot of people I talk to, they're like, yeah, we're going to scale super hard this year. We're going to go open up like 10 new markets. I'm pumped about it. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of these big businesses I talk to are just in like one or a few markets. And so we looked at the top 5 highest volume users, and we got we have coordinates on the drone shots to see, and we can make a heat map of where they are, and so we can see. This is number 1. Clustered, that's an entire state, but it's all around one central point, and they've grown outward. Number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so ultimately, the conclusion for me is that scale is not many markets. It's about being in one place, right? It's like, how much harder would it be to go into a new market and get plus 10% market share versus doing it in the one that I'm already in? It's probably a bit harder. And so they're not thinking grass is greener. The people who have the biggest businesses are just refining the basics and doing what they're already doing more efficiently. They're doing more of it, and they're growing in their existing market. And my hope is that some of the tools that I showed today will allow you to be able to take what you're doing and just squeeze more out of it, have more leverage to do more volume, and achieve the same thing, and hopefully leapfrog the trajectory that you're on right now so that you can leverage these tools, grow faster, scale more aggressively, and reach your goals faster. So I appreciate you all listening to me. If you have any questions, we'll be here the next couple days. There's these tools and an extremely in-depth rundown of those and more in the playbooks by our booth, so we have plenty of those. Come get some, and if you have any questions for me and my team, we're happy to answer them and dive deeper. So thank you. And I want to do that live demo for some people. It's not fake. All right, we have time for some questions if any of you guys want to dive deeper, or there's anything in particular in your business you're wondering how you could automate it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Matt. So when it comes to AutoHDR, the version 2 of AutoHDR I felt like was, getting there, and then version 3 that you guys recently released has been actually really, really good. Thank you. What do you feel like is the future with AutoHDR when it comes to implementation? Because I feel like a lot of media companies that I'm friends with, that they're like, it's close, it's maybe a little bit of the way there. What do you feel like the future is when it comes to actually certain companies who maybe are a little more creative, introducing it? And I guess, what would you say to maybe the people when it comes to AutoHDR of why they should and how it's getting better and better and better?
Good question. And I don't want this to all be an AutoHDR pitch, so I'll answer quickly, and then you guys should come talk to us at our booth. But like I was talking about, a lot of us are creatives first, and then you get into business. You got to think if you're okay with something deviating from your idea of perfection, this is the way I've been doing it forever, so that you can use an automated tool and grow things, or build a business that is automated and grows without you. So like, if there's no quality errors, it's just a subjective taste thing. Is this style a style that I like? What you should do is just run your photos through AI, deliver it to your client, and see what they say. Your clients are the one who dictate if your quality is good. And so if you're comparing photos between AI and a human, you're going to see differences. There's always going to be differences. It's the same way with human editors to human editors. But the ultimate judge of quality is going to be your broker and your client. So send it to them. They might say nothing, and you go, oh my gosh, I've been able to use AI, and I've not been doing it because I've been in my own head, just comparing it to the work we've been delivering. And ultimately, it's always going to be different. And so I would do that. I would do that and see. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. Just a follow-up question. Where do you feel like AutoHDR will be in your vision in 5 years from now, or even a few years from now? Do you feel like what percentage of the way do you feel like you are from where you guys specifically want to be?
From a quality perspective?
Yeah, quality, integration. Even I see now kind of the phone gimbal with the SD card on site. Yeah. You've really rolled out a lot of the customization with auto green grass, differentiating between the black TV screen and maybe a picture screen? Where do you feel like you are wanting to be, and how far do you feel like you're going to get there?
Yeah, fundamentally our goal, and the goal of a lot of the people that we work with, which I love, is fully automating the process. So one of our customers says, camera to cloud to client, and the goal is to eliminate the need for QC and fully automate it. And that's what we're striving towards. And I would say, just from a baseline image editing quality perspective, like you mentioned, you can deliver it to your clients, and I'm very confident that they'll love it. And then there's this long tail of challenging problems to solve, like how do we get rid of the tripod leg reflection in a washer dryer when you're editing tens of thousands of photos? Even if you have a 0.01% miss rate, that's a lot of photos. So how do we perfect that? And that long tail of things. And then also, how do we do every single customization that a human could do? Green grass replacement, twilights. How do we make it look better than a human and be more consistent than the best human? That's our goal. Everything that a human does, fully automated, more consistent than a human. And also, you mentioned integrations. I mean, the most critical thing for us is like, the quality can be good, but if the workflow is bad, you can't use it. And so for me, I know from my business, if something requires time or effort to make a transition to, I'm not going to do it. You should be able to just not change your upload process and be able to plug it in. And so that's what we strive to do. That's what we've done with our integrations, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey, Matt. First of all, insane presentation. Very well done. I feel like you hit all the different tools and points.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I feel like you hit all the points and tools that we can use immediately. Versus a lot of folks, like AI is so just complex that don't want to venture into it, right? But right now, you literally mentioned the 5 tools you can use today, right now, done, right?
Yeah.
So awesome. The question is, since you started a media company first, and then you switched into AutoHDR, I'm assuming, what was your journey like and that transition period to becoming more of a software person? And did that business, did you keep the other business, the media company? I'm assuming you did.
I did.
What was the hardest part in that, and what would be tips for those people that do want to do that potentially, maybe switch the industries but keep the original one, and continue forward into developing something else while keeping their cash cow?
So specifically, like transitioning from a media business to software?
Just it doesn't have to be specific to software, but just transitioning a business where you still want to keep the business like very well run. If that actually was success for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hard for me to let go. So for me, it was like, my story is that I had this real estate photography business, and I had a decision. I was studying machine learning. I had a hunch that we could train an AI model to edit photos, and I really wanted to pursue it. And I knew that actually trying to do that was going to take all of my time and attention. And if that meant screwing up, having someone else running the media business, I was cool with that because it's for a better opportunity that I'm just truly passionate about. And so I hired someone else to do it. I did my best to document every single thing that I did. So for me, that was just making a checklist that they could follow, where if I was got hit by a bus, hopefully they could just follow that document and do everything they needed to do to run the business. And I said, by this date, I'm done. We're doing 1 call a week, 1 hour, and that's what it's going to be. And you have to stick to that, because you're always going to get caught up with, oh, I don't want to lose this client. He's not going to do as well as me. He doesn't know this nuance. If you're trying to hire someone to do something, sometimes you got to let them screw up so that they can learn it for themselves. That's what I found. Actually, hire good people and give them room to do their jobs and give them the resource to do their jobs. So document everything and then put someone in charge who's well incentivized, and it will work. And I had clients call my personal number because I dropped off the face of the earth. I'm like, there's no way I can drop off and our clients are not going to leave. I promise you, all your clients really care about is a good product, and they like the personal relationship, but that doesn't need to be you. That can be someone on site shooting who's really charismatic and good. I literally had a client call. They're like, I haven't seen you in 8 months. Did you go to rehab? I was like, no. But the point is, I think in the last year, since I hired someone else to run it, we lost 2 clients from me not being there. out of hundreds. And so hopefully that gives you the confidence to like take the things that you think you can only do and go and delegate it, put someone competent in charge of it. The people with the biggest businesses in the room have the best team, and they lean on those people to do it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for your time. Go enjoy lunch. Appreciate you all listening.